Hey, if you're wondering how to be more productive, more focused, less tired while trying to do your work, this video is for you. There is a peak state called flow state, where anything that you want to do becomes easy. I want to share with you 5 tips for how to get there, even especially when you're feeling blocked. The first step is physical activity. If you are in a space where you are blocked mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, the best thing that you can do to transform that space in yourself where you're blocked is to change your physical movement, like get up, move, change the space that you are in. When we stay stagnant, it is very difficult to change how we feel. But if you will get up, even just do some jumping jacks, take a walk, anything that you do can step you aside from that block that you're in. It's really important to know this. I remember I played basketball in high school. I'm not I was just this kid that loved to play. It was my outlet. And I remember there were times where I would show up for practice exhausted, and I had to play. And I didn't want to even be there that day. I'd be so tired. And I'd think, what am I gonna do? But our coach, he'd get us out on the floor, we'd start running lines or doing our warm-up, the things that we did. And as I did that, no matter how tired I was, the physical activity would ignite my mind. It would allow me to move beyond the blocks and the weight of what I was carrying that day or whatever the feeling was that was impacting me. That became something that I really hung on to, particularly when I started university. I would often sit down to study, and I would get to a point where I just didn't feel like I had any more space in my brain to bring in new information, or I didn't have the capacity to understand a new concept. I was blocked. I would get up, I'd go for a run, or I would get up and I would just kind of take a break and just move my space from where I was, and then after a minute come back. The second thing is placing your mindset in a future state, the one that you wish to be in, and acting as if that state is already occurred. This is extremely powerful. If you are trying to move, to elevate, to get your state from where it is now to a higher, a loftier vision of what you want, whether that be in a physical pursuit, mental, emotional, spiritual, whatever that may be, the most important thing is to stop thinking of yourself as where you are, because that creates a block when you look at where you must be, and start imagining, I'm already in that space. How does a person that is in that mindset of where I wish to be act? How does that person feel? How does that person live? How do they move and interact with each other? And this is a really interesting and powerful thing. I remember when I played basketball as a kid, I was 16 years old, and I was playing in a league of men. I'd been invited to play with grown men in a men's league. I was the youngest kid on the floor, and I was trying really hard, but I was nervous because these guys were so much older than me. But I realized as I was playing that many of them weren't as skilled as me. And as I let myself overcome my own hesitation about playing with men that were stronger, bigger, older, and more experienced, and just began to think, hey, I'm in this space. I own my skills. I'm as good as they are, and recognized I could be somebody that had an impact on the floor. My game changed. I became less timid. I began to really defend the guys that I was working with. I could make good crisp passes. I was hitting my shots because I began to accept the fact that even though at 16, when I'm playing with people that I thought were much older and stronger than me, I could assume, hey, my space where I'm at is as powerful as those that are standing before me, and I can stand on this floor with these men and show up without any hesitation. Changed everything because I was no longer blocking myself with my own sense of inadequacy. Third step is getting to work, right? You've got to take small incremental steps that you're sure you can accomplish. Often when we're looking into building ourselves, right, from where we are to the next space, there's a big leap It's a great chasm if it's something that you're really pushing for. Some things are easy to do, a simple movement of your space, a change of mindset gets you there. But if you're attacking something that's significantly changing where you are now, there will be many steps that you have to take. And you've got to break it down into stuff that is really, really small and simple. I love basketball because I had a great coach and he would do this for us. I remember him breaking down defensive stances. And he would teach us even to the point of what our balance was when we were running out. So if you're a defender and there's somebody that gets a pass way outside, you'll see this in basketball all the time, right? They pass a ball on the inside, the defense collapses on the inside, and then the guy on the inside kicks it out to the three-point line to a man that's wide open. Well, if you do nothing, you just stand there, they got a wide open shot, and if they're a good shooter, they got a really great chance of hitting that 3 points. So you hustle out there. But if you run too fast and out of control and jump to block that shot, that gives the offensive person a chance to jump into you and get a foul. So you got to stay under control. So how do you do this? And my coach, I remember him breaking it down. You sprint, even to the beginning of the sequence, he showed me how to step off a foot that was in the back and launch forward as fast as I could out to the person that was getting the pass. And as I ran, just past the halfway point between where I was trying to go and where I had been, I would start to adjust my weight and lean back and approach the guy with my weight backwards so that if he decided, particularly if he had a dribble, to take off, he couldn't get past me. Or if he decided to jump and lean into me, I had the control to hold myself and not jump into him and get a foul. Little micro breakdowns is what my coach would do. He would watch me and watch my balance, watch my footwork, and it really improved my defense. I became a top defender on my team by listening to all of these steps, the incremental things that I wanted to do. Now, I had in me the physical capacity to stick to the defense. I had the cardio to be able to stay on top of these guys. But if I didn't have the footwork and if I didn't have the understanding of how to move in that space, I would have not been able to be successful. So when you're looking at this type of thing, these 3 steps, right? You want to first get yourself in a place of physical activity. Second, right? Get your mindset to the future of who you think you'll be. Imagine, visualize what that is, that perfect example of yourself. And then get to work finding the things that are stopping you from living in full ease at that future state. I promise you, if you do that, if you break it down, you will be amazed at the success that it brings you in the space that you're moving. So I know I talked a lot about basketball, and maybe that's tricky for you to see how that might connect with your business. But let me tell you, as a coach, for me, I often am moving into spaces where I feel like I need to escalate my business to another level. And when that happens, it is really, really important for my ability to recognize when I'm blocked. And then when that happens, I get up and I get physical about it. And even as I'm moving, I can feel where in myself, I listen to my body and I can feel in myself where the anxiety might lie. Maybe it's in my chest, maybe it's in my stomach, maybe it's in my head. And so I place my mindset, I look at that emotion, I drop into how it makes me feel, and then I imagine how I would feel if I was successful in this place in my business. And when I can picture what that looks like, when I can picture somebody that is doing what I already wish to be doing, I then visualize myself acting in that way. And then I get to work looking at what is the gap between where I am now and what I need to be. And I find one small thing that I need to change. It might simply be a word and how I introduce myself. Or maybe what it is it's the way I now engage with somebody at an event. I go to a networking event. I don't talk as if, oh, I'm just really struggling to try to get started and I really hope this happens because I would love to be able to do this. When you start to talk like that, you're in a place of need. But if you get to work in truly owning where you want to be in the future state, you can say, hey, this is my business. This is what I do. And I am building a massive empire or whatever it is. I'm building a company that will be able to service this group of people in this way. And you talk and you know that you are already in that space mentally. And then the flow starts to happen. And as the people accept and hear what you're saying and they watch you taking those incremental steps to get there, they'll accept you, they'll take on what you got, and it changes everything. Your flow begins to happen. So check this next video out. Losing track of your own desires. Are you losing track of yours? Are you caught in just the world of turmoil that you're facing and you want to know, hey, what is it that I really, really want to do? This is a video for you. Click the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Come on.